Alright, man. Listen. TikTok holding. I love you though, TikTok. And it took down my video, bro. And I get it. I mean, I can understand it on the title point of view. You know, don't want to give it out for free. And Netflix about their bag, and I'm gonna let it slide because Netflix. I love you, boy. Let me tell you, I ain't nothing against it. I only like Hulu better because they had a whole bunch of more variety of anime. But Goat Piece live action, man. Listen, I was all about live action anime and cartoon. I knew they had a stay in this world. My brother's anti for it. You know, he said you can't do that live action. I said that's all Marvel and DC are. So what do you mean? But I get it though. I get it because all the ones we had, you know, Dragon Ball flop, Attack on Titan. I get why it flopped. I mean, you put creepy monsters in a show in real life. What do you think it's gonna translate over to? Death Note, they went off script. They used it's like giving the same weapon to a whole new cast of members. So even though it was Death Note, it wasn't Death Note. So yeah, that flopped primarily, not because of how everything looked, primarily because the plot wasn't what it was supposed to be, bro. What the world was that? Daggone Avatar, the director hold us on purpose. Daggone, we get to, shoot. A lot of people didn't like the Mortal Kombat movie, though. I liked it. I understand. It's hard to translate it. But I feel like Netflix, they remember now, they got Demon Slayer on their belt, Avatar on their belt, My Hero gonna be a live action Spider-Man pretty much. Demon Slayer, I saw what they did with Zoro, I have faith. And they're on Avatar, they can't do any worse than the last Joker, so I hope. Hulu's best live action is Cloak and Dagger. I love it. But it's not beating Goat Piece. Now enough of all that boasting. Let me get straight into this real quick, alright? It is gonna go on both TikTok and YouTube. So Goat Piece, let's talk about it. So the show was made primarily, thank God for Oda having his hand on that show. It would not have been as good. The show was made, I got so many I gotta talk about. It's gonna go past 10 minutes. The show was made primarily for the fans, first of all. After the fans, then it was made for people that's never seen it. Like, to be honest with you, let's all be honest. When you all watch something for the first time, you learn the same amount of knowledge. If we go back and look at East Blue anime-wise, or read it in the manga, where we at right now, we gonna pick up all the content clues and hints and future Easter eggs and foreshadowing because we know what's going to happen. You go back to Skypiea, it looks totally different. When you know Luffy is your boy, though, pretty much everybody and their mom knew it, but now it's confirmed. So, you know, it's a lot different. But for, let's say, you compare yourself to watching it first time to somebody that's only seen the live action first time, you two know the same stuff. If not, I'm talking about only East Blue. If not, the live action people might get it better. You know why? Because pretty much One Piece, they're not trying to show everything in order in terms of worry about spoiling people. Pretty much they made the show as if people already know what's going on because majority of the people know it, whether you a fan of it or not. Like, my boy Day, okay, it's not Dex. I might slip up and say Dex every now and again, but his name is actually Day. He just got an X in there because it's clan. My boy Day, right? He literally said that, he posted on his story and tagged me and I reposted it, that, come on Netflix, you daggone just spoiling everybody about Ace's death. And forgive me if you hear my brother in the background talking to his boys. But I'm not sure if he was joking or not. But of course there's some people that do not know about anything about One Piece. And I'm putting at the very beginning of this spoilers. But I'm just saying it now. And if you do not know, well, I mean, either you've been living underneath a rock or you hate anime and never show up on your For You page. Because there's no way on earth. I knew about Ace's death before I got into One Piece. And I mean before social media really. Because I read One Piece before I even knew what it was. But I knew about Ace's death. I remember when I got to it, I said, oh, I seen that somewhere. Because, I mean, the whole world and their mama knew about Ace's death. It's one of the most impactful and one of the only real deaths that happens in One Piece. That we actually see real time. Not no flashback. Not no off screen. That we actually see real time. So, and it's actually an important character. I'm not talking about no knockoff character or extras. A real character that meant something to the plot. And it's like, wow. So, like, of course there's a few people. But when you really look at it, it's like if we were to make a show about NBA basketball as an anime, there's no point. Everybody pretty much know everything that's going on, whether you a fan or not. So even though they put it, they still wrote the show as if you watching it first time. Because for a few fans, it is their first time. That introduction to One Piece. But because of the stuff that most people know, we got Zoro. Now, let's talk about it. Zoro, I don't even know how I'm going to do the timestamps to this. I'm going to hate to have to go back and re-listen to this. Zoro actually was in... he actually spoke the broke words. He mentioned it in Alabasta or in the village when he beat up that... Hey, man. First of all, I got to say something. Oda, I love you. And I know you're doing it as a joke now. Because that black brother he beat up. I know you're doing it as a joke now. Like how Frieza calling people monkeys is definitely a joke. And I get it. And I love it. Because I take it no type of way. I know there might be some people that take it some type of way. But the Senju, Tobirama, Zoro, and Frieza, I know you're not really racist, bro. It's all fun and jokes. It might have been miscommunication at the start. But they seen the memes. And as long as us as the community majority are not upset, and then we take it as funny, I know all my friends do. I don't know a single person, both personally or not personally, is actually get offended by that crap. So I know he did it as a joke. So Zoro beating up on a black brother from Baroque Works, trying to talk to him is crazy. But, joke. But back to what I was saying. He said they approached him, but we never saw it. So they showed it for us. Because remember now, they went plot by plot. But because of the pacing, which was immaculate, by the way, and that's why I appreciate the show over the movie. Because, yeah, of course, technically it's more hours. But when you put in, you have to pace, let's say that whole East Blue. That's exactly why live action Avatar would have been flopped, whether it was good or not. Because of the pacing. You try to put all of East Blue in 2 hours. What are you doing? But if you put it all in 1 hour episodes, even 24-minute episodes, 24-minute episodes, they would probably been like 12 to 24 episodes instead of just 8. But trying to fit all of it in 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'm just going to say, which most movies runtime is crazy. But pacing it between an hour per arc, 2 hours for both Usopp's arc and Fishman Island, since they had more they had so much more important stuff in them that they put them in 2 spans. Oh my God, man. That was crazy. And like I be saying, they literally showed us Zoro meeting them, just like Nami. They opted, instead of showing us on Avita's ship and her crossing paths with Luffy that way, they showed us her crossing path, Luffy using her skills as a cat burglar. Because honestly, that was W writing in the manga. Of course, I ain't taking it from you. But if you look at a live action sense, on a real life ship, if everything would have happened, it would be kind of crazy how after Luffy infiltrated, no suspicion would have gone towards Nami, and so it's crazy. And I loved it. And instead of having her get caught or go to the buggy, they had her basically trick his men and giving foreshadowing the buggy. How they did the Wanda posters was immaculate. Oh my God, them showing it up. It's like fourth wall break and not. Cause it's not like they were more or less aware of us. They were more or less aware of the poster getting in front of them. But it could be either fourth wall break, which they did a lot in the East Blue, like pre-time skip, but especially East Blue, they did a lot of fourth wall breaks all the way up until post. Now they basically are main shonen. But One Piece is one of, if not the most wildest anime to try to do. One Piece is downright almost a cartoon. So to bring that into live action was immaculate. I mean, and they, instead of opting to make all the animalistic, besides fishman creatures, look animalistic, they opted to have it look like they just wearing that stuff. They're still animalistic. Like the ears look like it was fake ears, because it's just a part of his hat. But they made sure, and I love that, bro. It gives more realism to it. We know there's different species on One Piece, but I believe just like with Dragon Ball, because Oda and I don't know his name, man. I know it starts with a T. At least I know his last name, because they go by their last names first. But I might be confused if Oda is first or last. I just know. I mean, I know they go by their last, but see, me personally, I don't know if we call them their first, or we actually call them their last. And because I don't know, like if I search it, I'll put it like this. Let's say everybody call me Woodard all the time, right? But let's say I was from Japan and all you ever heard me call was Woodard. But you see it put out Woodard Dominique, right? Just like it should be if I was actually born over there. And because that's the only way they've ever called me, for everybody over here in America that don't really know the culture like that, or just learned about it, you don't know if because it's international, you don't know if Wood is my first name and they just using Wood Dominique because they're trying to be more international, or they actually being culture appropriate and saying Wood Dominique because Wood is my last. That's what I mean. I would have to actually look up and see which one his last name, Oda, or it starts with an E. Well, at least when you read it in American text, it starts with an E. And I would have to see which one it is. So I don't know. So it's the same thing with my boy for Dragon Ball. I don't even know I don't know what his second part is named, first or last. I just know one of them is T. And I can't pronounce it, I can't think of it right this second. But my man that did, is it Terracotta? No, I'm not even going to attempt to. I'm not going to disrespect the GOAT. But him and Oda, both first of the shonens. Of course, Dragon Ball came out first, which is why it's not big three. But what I'm trying to say is, they're so old that when they first started out, because how look at American cartoons. Look how wild they were back in the day. I love K&D. Look at K&D compared to Gravity Falls. And now Gravity Falls was a supernatural show, and even then it wasn't as wild. It stayed within theme. K&D, bro, I love it. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite cartoon. But it was wild because back in the day, more of that stuff was more entertaining and jokerish, daggone, than more of the serious tone. I say all the time to my friends, family, I say people of this generation, like my brother's friends, I'm not gonna say their last name, even though everybody probably know it, but just out of respect right this second and how I'm feeling, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say the G's. They're all younger than my brother. They range from like 1 to 4 years younger than my brother, if I'm thinking right. So for me, it's twice as much. When I say twice as much, you have to add an extra year on top of that. So it's 2 to 5, or did I say 2? Whatever. And that's what it is, right? But intelligence-wise, I'm not talking about educational intelligence, though they can be. Of course, you got kids that's probably like 4 years old or 5 years old that's close to my intelligence and education. I mean, they got it. But I'm just talking about on the generic. When I say IQ-wise, I mean they're on our scale in terms of they know just as much stuff as I do in terms of real world. They know about birds and the bees. They can't really help it with this generation. They know about everything. They play GTA. They played at a much younger age than I played it. Like, they know everything I know in the real world sense. Like, real world knowledge, they know just as, not real world experience, I said knowledge. They know just as much as I do. Of course, I still know a little bit more because I've lived longer. But they know just as much as I do for them to be significantly younger than me. And then for them compared to my cousins and my nephews and nieces, not by my brother, by the way, my god brother, but he's still nephew and nieces, they daggone know just as much as they do, and they significantly younger compared to them. And that's the point I'm saying. I'll literally never forget 2 years ago, my daggone cousins, they daggone 2 and 3 years old. And they on the tablet working that whole, like I'm working it now. And I'm like, dang, I didn't start working the tablet until I was like 6 going on 8. Which was still young. I said 6 going on 8. See what's going on with me? 6 going on 7. I meant to really say 6 to 8 because I don't really know when was the first time. I mean, all my life I pretty much remember. I had a phone at a very young age with a flip phone. So what I'm basically saying is, I was young compared to my peers, but technically they still did it much younger than I am and working it the same way I'm working it now. So I'm going off topic, but I'm saying all that to say how, because of how the times have changed, original Dragon Ball, from Dragon Ball nearing the end of Z, because they still had animalistic people back then, and they still throw it in now just for, a homage, but they don't really show it anymore besides like aliens. And daggone One Piece, the OGs had much crazier stuff. They were doing this at the screen. One of my favorite moments from Luffy, following behind that mean Marine looking like, what are you looking at, And I'm behind him, and keep walking. Sanji like, wow, And that's one of my favorite moments of how Frankie was being an extra. All that stuff, pre-time skip, you got the animalistic creatures that Oda made into their own races now. But I believe it was just a style choice back then. Just like on Dragon Ball. I don't really think they thought about, oh, that's a different person than human. They were just writing them all. They didn't think about it back then. They just wrote them that way and then end up playing into it. Like, Tien got third eye for what? For what, bro? Yeah, we know he's part of some type of alien race, but he has none of the powers, apparently. He's stronger than the average human, but Krillin's still stronger than him. So it's like, for what? It was just a style choice. that later down the line might come into play. But like it was just a style choice back then. Like the talking cat. We know Beerus is an alien, so is that cat an alien or did he originate from Earth? We don't know. Dagon, we know about Kami. They played them off as Namekians, but even though they were Namekians originally, they looked like gods before they showed everything else. So like the president of wherever country they're in, I don't know what Dragon Ball is set in. At least where Bulma lives at. I don't know where it's set in. And, it's hard. You can't really assume Japan just because it's an anime, because there's a bunch of anime that does not originate in Japan. So like there's a bunch of cartoons that they're not in America. So you can't really just say off of that alone. Like even Naruto, we know they're in the Asian continent from how they are, but we can't necessarily say they're in Japan, especially when they're equivalent to Japan, I should say, because not every world building is going to be equal. It's like Hunter x Hunter is like One Piece. They range from everywhere. So we know New York, New Cities are basically New York, but we don't know if it's sitting in the United States, especially since we know how the whole world works. They're basically on one solo country or continent surrounded by the rest of the world within a lake. So we don't really know if that's like with just a country of its own that's New York, or if a city in a country that's like New York. We know how the NGL is based in Africa. So you know what I'm saying. So I done gotten off topic to the point. Oh yeah. So it's like, it was more jokish back in the day. So because of that, they decided, well, we can't really just show all of them like animal creatures and stuff and hybrids, because even though we know there's races like that in One Piece, they're trying to bring it as close to realism as it can be. The fishmen are one thing. We've been telling tales as mermaids for as long as I can remember. But every other species, they mainly got newer stuff later down the line. Species of the sea is one thing. But species of every other animal, it's like, come on now, we're taking it too far. So I love what it is. It's fishmen were looking like fishmen, but every other creature would look like we definitely we know in One Piece having a crazy body extension puts you in a whole different category. Like the long nose or the long arms. We know technically in the story, Usopp and his mom are part of the long nose clan. Just like we know there's people part of the long arm clan, long leg clan, long head clan. Like they own like fishmen. So we know they got their own subcategories of humans, like how fishermen got each category of fish, but they all fishmen. So, but they didn't give it to Usopp in the show because, like, come on, it would be crazy. And because of how they did Oolong, because they were trying to bring it as close to realism. Now, I was complaining about it originally. That's only because I was saying I thought they were gonna still have them look like a swordfish, bulky wise, like the Rock. And if they were, then the long nose would be okay, body proportion wise. It wouldn't have looking too crazy. But since he was more slimmed down, then that nose was perfect. That nose was perfect since it was more slimmed down. I thought he was talking to me. Since he was more slimmed down, it makes sense. But the pacing it was crazy. It was beautiful. They pretty much did Vita, and meeting Zoro all in the same, which was the same arc, but they put it down all in one episode. Pretty much. And then freeing Zoro, Nami joining, then Usopp, and then, him joining 2 different episodes. Bratier, and then Sanji joining and Nami leaving 2 different episodes. Then Fishman Island in 2 episodes. And that should be 8 if I did my calculations, which I probably was wrong. And it was perfect. I love that. I mean, and like I was saying, they did their own spin on it. Because if you're going to pace it right, it's hard to pace it in the exact way that you want to by going by the story. So they changed certain things. They had Nami show up. Like I said, her getting aboard the ship. She go to the same place as Luffy and Zoro go to. And because they showed him earlier, they pretty much... And I remember I said if Garp ended up... I'm cutting my own self off, by the way. Remember, I'm not really good at these. I love to talk. Remember I said Garp ended up interacting with Luffy beforehand? That's because I was assuming they were trying to stay as close to the original material. But they putting their own spin on it. And by the way they ended, we definitely getting another one. I just don't know if it's going to happen next year or the year after next. Or even the year after that one. Because Avatar had just as much talk about it as One Piece. And the trailer hasn't dropped yet. But it's soon to. Because not really a leak, the teaser image basically was dropped same way One Piece did. So because we haven't gotten the trailer yet, either Avatar is going to be published next year or the year after that. And I can only assume One Piece is going to be the year after Avatar. They're not going to do both in the same year because they release all the episodes at the same time. If you haven't really noticed, Netflix try to do their original shows apart from each other, unless they're in two different categories, like movies to shows, animation to shows. Like Sonic Prime came out this year as in what's called, but 2 different times and in 2 different style of shows. So, that's how they like to do it. And minor movies might get dropped in the same year. But let's say Stranger Things were a movie like Outer Banks, it wouldn't have been dropped in the same year. Where Outer Banks and Stranger Things are so far apart from each other, they would drop within 12 months, but not within technically the same year. And I love that, man. Netflix really got it. And I remember I used to say the format, but really, I was really thinking about it hard, I was like, to drop all the episodes of One Piece at once, it's gonna fade, but really no, because One Piece is something we already know. Why would I wait per week the same way I would the actual animators continuing on the story for something I already seen? Where I have more patience to watch all 8 hours in one sitting, which I didn't do, than to wait per week to watch something I've seen. And it keeps people, that way the interest stayed at the same peak. Because it only took 2 days for me to finish it, and that's only because it was gonna take me longer, but because TikTok, copyrighted me, I said, well, there's no point in wasting storage space of trying to react. I just do one of these. And it was amazing. Like, the fight choreography was perfect, bro. I thought it was gonna be cringe. Somebody said something was cringe. That was not cringe. I mean, I thought it would be, but it really wasn't. The actors really portrayed their characters to the point where I'm starting to think they got it in real life. The same way Donnie Robert Jr. got it in real life. That brother they got it in real life. And Netflix, I do not know who you be getting these jokers from. Where do I cast? Where do I audition, I mean to say? Because, like, where are you getting these jokers from? Now, I would have loved to have been in it. Of course, I would love to be in my own first, because I know a contract's going to basically keep me from doing my own if I were to sign as an actor first. But I'm just saying, bro, like, where would you audition? Because these jokers is showing up. Like, these are no-name brand, not to be disrespectful, but nobody heard of them jokers, not on the mainstream level until now. And Zoro actor, and see, I loved it because Oda said himself, each one of them were a different race. And though you could tell it between Usopp and the rest of the crew, or we know, obviously, Brook has an afro. Not necessarily you have to be black to have an afro, but that's more of a black culture thing. So we knew he was black before they even showed us his past. Obviously, most species that's not human are representative as minorities. So they're either black or Hispanics, more so than anything. That's why Piccolo is in the black community, because he's pretty much black. Even though we know he's not black, he's a Namekian. He's representative of the black community. The same like as Yororichi would from Bleach, not Demon Slayer. So that's what I'm talking about. So we obviously knew, he showed us, like, Luffy would be Canadian, which he looks, I'm not trying to be, let me make sure I'm not sounding rude, disrespectful. Some people just look, when I say I'm trying not to get canceled here. I am black, so I can't get so canceled by saying this, because you know my intentions. And I'm not to say that because I am black. It just, I do know for a white actor or star, for the non-racist ones, when they go to say something, some people try to spin it in every different way. And though they do it for other races as well, it's more so for them due to what happened in the past and stuff. So when I say this is no racism tied to it. Please don't spin this hoe. When I say I don't see color, I don't mean I don't see it. I'm not blind. I see that person, I know he's Asian, black, like so on and so forth. I'm not stupid. When I say that, I mean, I don't focus on the minute details that hard to the fact that I'm like, oh, I can pinpoint if this dude's Chinese or Japanese. I can't tell the difference. This person is African, Nigerian, I meant to say, my apologies. African American, like, I don't pinpoint. Obviously, some things are more obvious. The darker complexion you are, you might be from over there. Or, I don't really know when it comes to Asians at all, honestly. I'm being honest. I know for the native ones, like the ones on the countryside, I can kind of tell the difference. But that's if they aged a lot. Because I know Chinese from the countryside get darker than Japanese people do. At least the ones I've seen. So I can tell the difference between that. Or I can tell the difference between Indian that's native to America first compared to one that's native from India. But besides those extreme differences that you could tell, I really can't tell. So I don't really know what Luffy race, the actor, I should say. I don't know what his ethnicity is. But we know, if I'm correct, I think in the chronological, I can't even speak right now. In the canonicity of it, he's supposed to be Canadian. I think he's supposed to be Canadian, right? Then somebody in there is supposed to be Brazilian. I think that's Nami. By the orange hair, but I could be absolutely wrong about all this, by the way. I just want to say that. Frankie's American. I know that. Everybody knows that. Usopp, he's black, but he's actually from a separate, I can't remember. No, I think he's the Brazilian. I don't know, man. I'm bad with this, okay? I'm bad with this. When it comes to history, I love it. Science, I love it. But when it comes to that stuff, bruh, and I'm sorry, as a mug. The only culture I really know are the ones I study the most, which is the one I was, studying obviously throughout my whole life, because they teach American history and me learning about Japanese culture. But outside of that stuff, everything else, I'm sorry as a mug. Do I have interest in it? Unless I research it myself, I never learned it. So apologies to all that. And so I just want to say, back to what I was saying, the cast members are basically all separate. I know Zoro's Japanese, he's from Wano, which is basically Japan, and I love that. So obviously the cast is different. Obviously, they really got it like that, and I just love that. It's really awesome. One Piece and Hunter x Hunter are the only two that really differentiate between races in terms of their cast members. Like in Hunter x Hunter, obviously Killua and Gon are not the same race. Neither is Leorio and Crop. All four of them are separate races, even Hisoka. So I think the Zodics are Japanese. I think they're supposed to be Japanese. But I could be wrong. Gon obviously is not. And then Leorio is definitely not. Cropter could be Asian. I don't know if he's Chinese or Japanese. He could be, but I could still be wrong. And basically, Hunter x Hunter and One Piece are the only two, well, not Yu Yu Hakusho, he was written by the same man as One Piece. Those are the only three that have such a different, dang, I can't speak today, a different set of cast members that I know of, okay? One that I know of. Like, obviously, when it comes to Demon Slayer, let's say, or Sword Art Online, besides my boy with the X, everybody is, generally the same race. It takes place in basically Japan. Bleach is another one, but more so due to, they are another one. So yeah, Bleach is another one as well. I was about to say all the big three. Naruto and Dragon Ball really are not. But there's nothing wrong with that. Dragon Ball shows it in terms of each country. When I say the main cast, I mean everybody that we see. Everybody in Conan, it would probably be portrayed by the same race if they were trying to go accurate to the show, right? Same for Demon Slayer. So it's like, it's hard, honestly. The same for Dragon Ball. It wouldn't be until you go looking at other places, like Broly, even though they all should be the same race, because they're Saiyans, Broly would have a different race actor if you want him. The Broly from the movie, not the non-canon one. Or Bleach would be, not Bleach, Naruto, of course, everybody hitting Cloud Village is majority black, but that's outside of the main setting is what I'm talking about. The main setting of both Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho are daggone different. And I love how they represent that in the show so awesome. You couldn't even pinpoint. We know One Piece is Earth, but you can't even pinpoint where they could be. Wano's really the only place that I know for a fact. Wano and Alabasta are the only two places that we know for a fact where they're basically based off of. Besides, like, when I say based, not like Scorpio being based off of heaven. I mean, like, correlating to what the country is in real life. And I love that. And One Piece, they really did live action justice. Because One Piece is one of the hardest anime, like I was explaining earlier, one of the hardest anime to pull off live action, and them boys did it. Them jokers did it. They did it. And now, thanks to that, and the lineup is immaculate. Demon Slayer is getting a live action. Sword Art Online, I just found out I was right. I did not know Sword Art Online. When I said it, you probably didn't see it. No, at least 270 some people saw it before it got taken off of TikTok. I said Sword Art Online, Demon Slayer, My Hero. I said probably the new generation Joker's gonna come. And the old generation Jokers, it'll probably either be Naruto, then Bleach, then Dragon Ball, because they already had a flop series, and they're not gonna do it again till after everybody else did a flop movie. And I was right. The Netflix got My Hero, Demon Slayer, and Sword Art Online, because those are movies that's easy to do live action compared to One Piece. It's easy to do something like, because we already got movies similar to those, movies and shows similar to those themes. So they're easier to do live action. And because they all, because I'll put it like this: Demon Slayer and Sword Art Online are short. I mean, when I say short, just like My Hero, they're long spanning for sure, but it's short compared to the OG shonen. And because of that, the ones they all gonna base it off of, My Hero is gonna start. I hope they always do series too. Don't do movies. If they all do a series, My Hero is gonna probably be, let's say 8. Let's go by the 8-episode rule, since that's what One Piece did. It's probably gonna be Deku introduction, him meeting All Might, saving Bakugo, yada yada. Him getting the UA, him training is gonna all be in one episode. Him making it in the UA, training a little bit more, yada yada, gonna be in one episode. Maybe when introducing the villains when they join a breakthrough, then that's gonna be a whole episode. That might get split into 2 parts or 3, because basically they're gonna end with All Might fighting the Nemo. So, and then Sword Art Online is probably gonna be Kirito and Asuna getting into that. It might go all the way to the end when they get out. It's not really long. It's not really long at all. So it might go all the way into they get out. Honestly, I can see that. Demon Slayer is definitely gonna be from the beginning to the Spider Mountain arc. That's it. I mean, why wouldn't it not be? But Spider Mountain arc to when they get to the Butterfly Mansion. But the Butterfly Mansion might take place. I can see them, because of how I can see how they pace stuff. I can see them actually doing. I bumped the camera. I can see them actually doing. Let's hurry and run this through because my camera ran out. I can see them running till they get out of do a little bit out of order, like how they did. Because they showed the live actors, they wanted to actually give them more storytelling. I know I'm wearing Demon Slayer. I'm gonna give me a One Piece one, and so they showed Garp and Kobe a lot more than what they should have for the East Blue. But they did that because if they do the next one, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be closer to accurate next one. Nothing wrong with it, what they did now. When I say, I'm just saying it like it's close to. I'm pretty sure they're gonna show Vita getting her devil fruit, Buggy, them tracking them down, fighting, them getting to the place, your boy hanging up there like Goldie Roger, getting saved by Dragon. They're gonna be probably closer to the anime than ever until they get to the Grand Line and they start the Alabasta arc. Cause that's when things have no choice but to change. Cause unlike beforehand, we saw Zoro meet with them jokers. So they can't play the whole trying to make it seem as if we don't know and make it a surprise reveal, because we already saw the broke works. They were mentioned multiple times. So they're definitely gonna change a lot. They're gonna change a lot with that. But the end result is gonna be the same. So basically, would I recommend One Piece live action to those that have seen it and haven't seen One Piece? That is a 10 out of 10, bro. For real. Like, it really did their thing. And like I said before, for somebody that never even seen One Piece, there you go. That saved you. Those 8 episodes, 8 hours saved you that on 200 to around 200 episodes. All the East Blue gone. You don't count filler. They don't save you. Because now you know just as much as we do, if not more, for our first time through. Because you know more about Garp, Kobe, and Broke Works than what you would have known beforehand. You know more about the Grand Line and pretenses. Maybe about the same actually. But you basically know a lot more. Because you basically know there's some force in the show, in that universe, that allows people to perceive things differently from how Garp and Mihawk and Shanks. Of course we saw it in One Piece, but it wasn't in East Blue. At least not to the extent that we just saw. We saw, first of all, oh man, I don't want to run out of space and can't finish the video off. I just want to say, man, the way they did the attacks was not cringe. Him saying Gummy Gummy, since he was already happy-go-lucky, it wasn't cringe to me, at least not to me. Your boy, the way that Sanji was calling out his moves were clean, especially since they were French. So it's like, it rolled off the tongue a little bit better. And then the way that Zoro never called out any. But his move when he did that, boy, I didn't think it was gonna look that good in live action. Man, I'm so looking forward to Avatar thanks to this. Netflix, when I have everything set in stone and my novel and the future manga come out, man, let's talk. Let's talk. I think King Vader with you, is he not? I want to see what RDC gonna do with HBO, but let's talk, Netflix. This is your boy talking to you face to face to camera. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and get it in the works. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, that was immaculate. In my show, man, I'm not getting all of that right now, but 10 out of 10 for One Piece live action. Joker's gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I mean, I can't really say you're gonna love it because you have to watch it for yourself. But from how I watched it going into it, whether I would have been a fan or not, I would have loved it. So, there you go. A little recap. Video went into 30 minutes at least. Woo! You know, for TikTok, I'm pretty sure I am going to do, if I get the space to edit the way I want to, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have, you know, something playing above me, like a video game or something. And for YouTube, it's probably going to be like this, and I'll probably just show clips and stuff. But I might not do that because YouTube might take it down. So I guess we'll see. But I hope you guys enjoy this. If you want me to do more things like this, like I don't react to every single anime. So, and because my schedule the way it's getting what it is and JJK's already been out, I don't think I might react to JJK. I remember I said it was on my roster reacting, but I'm going to finish out Wano. I'm going to look at Bleach. I have to finish it out because you already seen me watch the first. But see, I'm so behind now. But I can binge watch through it. But I don't have the time as I would like to have. So, you know, give me recommendations. Comment down below on both YouTube and TikTok. If you prefer to see one of these again, I must hurry up because I'm about to run out of space yet again. I'm about to run out of space yet again, so let me hurry up. If you want to see that instead of a reaction to me react to the whole series, comment down below and I'll do one of these again. Excuse me, I got done drinking a whole thing of soda. If you do not want me to, comment down below. If I don't get enough comments, I probably won't. I just react to it. But it also depends off of a whim too. So just comment down below, man. Tell me. Also, I love the views I'm getting, the likes, the amount of people. It might not be immaculate, but for me, been on this hole for pushing from social media in general, pushing 15 years, from daggone YouTube alone, I think pushing 10 years, if not already 10. All this notability I'm getting, notoriety is beautiful to me. I don't care if it's 20 likes, 100 likes, or 200 views. I love it all. And I'm trying to get on the up. But I love what I'm getting. Trust me. I love what I'm getting. I'm not complaining. So, you know, just comment down below. Let me know what you're going to think. Like the video if you liked it. Hit the notification bell if you want to. Subscribe and follow if you want to. Your boy's on the way up. But I love what I'm seeing in today's stuff in terms of anime and live action. So your boy is going to stay reacting to these hoes. And I'm going to be drawing some more pictures soon. I'm just be getting caught up in stuff. Like, work is crazy, man. When I say work, I mean classes. I'm taking a little side break off of work alone. Besides my, you know, my writing. Of course, that's a constant grind. But I hope everybody have a good day, week, month, and remainder of the year. I'll catch you guys next time. This is Smash King signing off. Peace.